Ford Motor chairman cancels visit to Saudi investor conference.
Here's a summary of the article.
New York – Ford Motor Co-chairman Bill Ford canceled a multi-stop trip to the Middle East, including a planned appearance at a Saudi investment conference, the company said on Sunday, the latest such cancellation after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The company did not elaborate on the reasons for Ford's decision not to attend the Future Investment Initiative conference in Riyadh, and did not comment on whether concerns about the disappearance of Khashoggi were a factor. Khashoggi, a U.S. resident and Washington Post columnist critical of Riyadh's policies, disappeared on October 2 after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The investment summit in Riyadh later this month typically attracts executives from some of the world's largest companies and media organizations. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened severe punishment if it turns out Khashoggi was killed in the consulate, although he said Washington would be punishing itself if it halted military sales to Riyadh. Major news organizations such as CNN, The Financial Times, The New York Times, CNBC and Bloomberg have pulled out of the conference. The absence of media and technology executives is likely to cast a shadow over the three-day event, dubbed Davos in the Desert. It has become the biggest show for investors to promote Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's reform vision.
This post received a score of 25,483, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than the investment summit in Riyadh later this month typically attracts executives from some of the world's largest companies and media organizations. It has rapidly become a vehicle for those firms to express their concerns over Khashoggi's disappearance. Greater than U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened severe punishment if it turns out Khashoggi was killed in the consulate, although he said Washington would be punishing itself if it halted military sales to Riyadh. I'm glad this is happening as it's certainly very well deserved and a long time in coming.
I think the bigger thing is that they abducted and killed someone in the consulate. Consulates are supposed to be safe zones for everyone.
And it wasn't your average hit by intelligence standards. They murdered a journalist in straight-up horror movie fashion, in a foreign country, in the one place that's considered a safe zone by all international standards. Shit is getting out of control. They crossed so many lines as far as normal espionage tactics go, there is no way the rest of the world can let this sort of shit slide.
It's even worse when you consider the journalist wasn't even there for any political or journalistic reason, he just wanted to marry his fiancée.
Then add that he was a supporter of MBS, fuck what would he do to people who genuinely oppose him?
Foreshadowed. Remember over 2 months or so ago when Saudi Arabia had a spat with Canada over human rights abuse? Pepperidge Farms members. We urge the Saudi authorities to immediately release them and all other peaceful #human rights activists.
Ah yes. When Canada called them out and KSA replied with the diplomatic equivalent of "no you."
Oh, they did more than that, they gave us the good ol' "We'll 9/11 you if you keep this up."
Greater than "We'll 9/11 you if you keep this up." The corrupt leaders of countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, al need to be Magnitsky Act, sanctioned to financial death. That is all these tyrants understand, is money. Problem is the only thing the leaders of the US understand is money as well. This is why voting this November 6 will be so critical. There will then be greatly needed check to balance the TRU-MP and GOP corruption. I mean, it's a start, but the almighty dollar will still rule.
Good. And #X200B. Now only if the government did this.
If only we didn't have an asshole as a president. Obama was just as afraid of them as Trump, so will the next president. Canada does not have part of the debt owned by the Saudis. No president wants to be responsible for a stock market crash or a currency crash because they told a shithole like Saudi Arabia to get fucked. Trudeau literally has next to nothing to lose by telling the Saudis to go to hell.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by SMMRY.com, without any human intervention.